did an interview, the analysis of interview between Miss Fiona Mackenzie and Afolabi. This time, and you did well. This time, I don't know what you have for us.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Today I've prepared something on Engineer Tahir. That is Fathers of Nations, chapter 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you and welcome. Let me take a breather as you continue with your presentation, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, madam. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to welcome you to a top-notch group. I am Akoth, as I had introduced myself last time. Today, I want to give you something about Engineer Tahir, and that is chapter 9. So, in this chapter, we simply get to know about the Engineer Tahir, his background. We also see the accident. The accident I use in quotes because it is something that is caused by the two, and actually it was unplanned. So that is what happens. And lastly, we see how Engineer Tahir was recruited into Agda by Thaddeus Longway. So in the chapter, we see it begins with the background of Engineer Tahir. We are told he had graduated from Abdelaziz Academy in Tripoli and then proceeded to University of Paris to study weapon development. When he comes home, it was a bit of coincidence that he comes when the president was celebrating his 20 years in power. And among his achievements were nationalizing all the foreign businesses. He had also done a lot, and however much people thought that he was going to hand over power, Tahir insisted and told people that he was a good man and he was still the best person to lead Libya. So in the arguments, they said a lot. And then we see this president came up with a company that was to manufacture weapons, and he called it the Feast of Allah. So the Feast of Allah came true to Tahir's dreams. He had wanted and went to study so that he could one day come and build real weapons for Libya. And when this company was introduced, it was the best for him. So he worked there, but unfortunately, the company was dismantled by the president. This was after the Al-Qaeda had struck America, and the president knew that America would fight back, beginning with all those associated to because Al-Qaeda is an Arab group. So he thought he would come and maybe retaliate on the Arab countries, and he decided to dismantle the company. So this one really disappointed Tahir, and he left somebody who was so frustrated. So the only thing he could think about was to get a lady, and he swore that the lady he would meet first the following day would be the lady he's been looking for. So very early in the morning when he went to the office, fortunately or unfortunately, he met this lady, Rama Mahmoud, a very beautiful lady. And then he knocked, and the lady refused to open the door. He said he requested for a date, and the lady said no. And this really frustrated the man, and he thought of a revenge. We see the revenge was a slap the following day, which brought a lot of problems. The lady hit back, and then you see a lot of things came in. It ended up in court, and the lady's eye had to be removed and whatever. But we see, even at last, Tahir never got the peace he wanted. Let us maybe analyze the chapter. We shall look at styles, themes, and maybe character traits in the chapter. And maybe I begin with the styles. So the first style we see there is vivid description. The lady is described as a very beautiful one. To begin with, when Tahir looked at her, it said that the lady had big eyes, and the eyes were shining like a pair of moons. That is a simile. It is a simile, but in other cases, it's also a vivid description, trying to describe. So we see two styles at a go. So, and then we are also told in the description that her smile included big teeth, white, big gums that were purple, and the head was covered in veil. That is all vivid description to show us the kind of person the lady was. We also see simile, I've just said, her eyes were big and shining like light bulbs, not pair of moons, but light bulbs. We also see, because this is a novel, that conversation, however much the lady is a passive listener, but there are points she answers with a smile, and then there is a direct word when the man suggested on a day of going for the date, she said no. That is a dialogue. So we again see another style. We also have rhetorical questions, like there's this part. He says, in the heat of passion, when the girl had said no, however much we know that the no was not the right thing the girl meant, but according to Tahir, it was that. So we see a rhetorical question in this phrase, in these lines: in the heat of passion, when no one reasons clearly, who has at one time or another misinterpreted a kind word from a friend. That is a question. It's a rhetorical question, just trying to suggest what the readers or the listeners could think about. There's another one: who has not then reacted to it with disappointment, though in the light of subsequent reflection, laughter would have been the appropriate response. The lady knew that her no meant yes, and Tahir could not get. So as a real man, if you are given a yes, you should just smile. So that is another rhetorical question. We also see irony, situational irony. We see in this case of Tahir and Rama. Rama is taken to court, and she had done nothing. She was attacked in her office by Tahir. So in most cases, we know it is the attacker who is taken to court. But in this case, things revolve around until the lady who was attacked is the one who is taken to court innocently. And then again, we see Tahir was doing all this revenge. He thought of a lady. He thought when the lady refused him, he thought of doing a revenge on the lady so that he could get peace. But at the end, the opposite happens. He fails to get the peace he was looking for. He had been disappointed by the president, disappointed by the girl, now taking to court issues because he wanted peace. He still fails to get it, and we see friends try talking to him. When they insisted to cancel him, he decided to move away to Tripoli. We also see local dialect is also used in the story. The book is in English, but we see some greetings from Tahir, like Samarkir. Somewhere he say Allah Akbar. That is another. That is Arabic used in English. Those are the few styles that are used in that chapter. Maybe we move to themes. Themes, we see theme of education. Tahir had graduated in Abdelaziz Academy, and then he proceeded to France to study weapon development in University of Paris. That is a theme of education. We see optimism. When Tahir left to go and study weapons, he had dreams of one day building real weapons for Libya. That is optimism. And then we also see discovery of oil in Libya. Opened a good future for the Libyans, and they saw a lot of prosperity in their development. There is also a theme of liberation. This is majorly through the president's achievement. We see that as a head of the government, he closed down all the foreign-based military bases in Libya. and he also nationalized all the foreign business to make Libya capture its lost prestige. So that is a liberation. There's also conflict. Conflict we can also we call it violence. This is between Tahir and Rama. That kind of fight when Tahir found her removing her head veil, slapped her. She decided to hit back by throwing a paper opener, which ended up interfering with Tahir's eye. That is violence. We also see violence when the Al-Qaeda struck America. That is another form of violence. We also see love, however much it was fake love. We see Tahir fall in love with this lady Rama. And Rama actually accepted, but accepted in quotes. And Tahir suffered the pain of losing love. That is love coming in. There's also culture. Tahir took advantage of the Heritage Week, where the Libya was celebrating their Heritage Week, and this is a day that women were to be so humble and whatever. You see, that is culture. The country was preserving some form of culture. There is a betrayal. Tahir felt so much betrayed by the president. He had come to build real weapons for Libya, and then the president ended up dismantling the Feast of Allah. Second last theme is pain and suffering. We also see that Rama suffered a lot. Because she said no to Tahir, she ended up getting slapped the following day. This was followed with court issues, and later we see her eye is removed as a revenge in the court. So that is suffering. We see it coming. Tahir also underwent some form of suffering. He had placed most of his hopes on the Feast of Allah. It was dismantled. He went for love. His request was declined. The court issues followed, but still never got peace. And until he decided to move away from home. That is suffering. And then we also see disillusionment, the failed hopes. This one majorly on Tahir, when the Feast of Allah was dismantled. He remained so hopeless and saw no future. Character traits, we begin with the Tahir. Tahir is somebody who is very naive. He's somebody who is not good in matters concerning love. You know, he was talking to the lady was smiling back. He made his request, the lady smiled back again. And you see, when he suggested a day, the lady gave a very soft no. But he failed to understand what the soft no and all the smiles meant. He took it to have been denied the love. So he's so naive, he do not understand Rama when she smiled, and even when she smiled to conceal her acceptance. He's also very optimistic. When he goes to Paris to study weapon development, he had dreams of one day building real weapons for Libya. He's also presented to be somebody who is so informed. We see from education, he understands, he studies weapon development, and then again he understands the history of Libya, as he explains most of them to Tad in their talk. He's also very opportunistic. When the lady refused him, he decided to take a revenge, and the revenge was coincided with the Heritage Week. So he took advantage of that Heritage Week to punish Rama. He's also very violent, where after failing to get the Rama's love, he decided to do revenge by slapping her. That is being violent. We can also see him as a very vengeful person. He decided to hit back. He's denied love by beating and slapping Rama. He's also temperamental. When the Feast of Allah is dismantled, he gets so much angry, and he hated the president, and that is what even makes him go out of his way to look for a lady, maybe to cool his tempers. So that is Tahir. Rama is apart from being very beautiful, that is natural, but we also see she is also very vengeful. When she had been slapped by Tahir, she decided to pick whatever was around, got a paper opener, threw it at Tahir, which ended up tearing some part of the flesh around the eye. She's also very coy. She's somebody who is so unpredictable and very fearful. She coyly turns down Tahir's offer with a no, and this no is just not a real no, but just a no to conceal her eagerness to accept it. You know, ladies always behave that way. They will tell you something that is opposite, but it is the real thing. If you work it out well, it will get your work, you will get the love that you desire. She's also very religious. We see her from her attire. She's dressed like an Islamic woman, like an Arabian, somebody, an Arab. Her dress described from her her head, the kind of dress that covers the whole of her body, that is an Islamic kind of attire. She's also very violent. When she realizes that she had been slapped, what did she do? She decided to hit back by throwing the pin at the man. That is the accident. And lastly, we see Tahir and Tad. Here they just discuss a few things. We see Tahir is informed, knows about the history, and then they get into Agda. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what I have on chapter 9. Thank you, and welcome next time.